Hey everyone, what's going on? Ronan here. So I just wanted to take the time to thank all of you guys for allowing me to take the month off and for your understanding in what's been going on. It's really been helpful. I also want to take a personal time to thank all of the patrons because a lot of the money that they've donated helped cushion a lot of the costs that I've incurred with the passing of my grandfather. But anyway, let's get into today's video. I want you guys to understand something about this particular part. The previous parts I writ from the perspective of just an overview with changing things slightly here and there. This part, however, is going to be a full-on what-if scenarios with full-out written battles. And the reason for it is because I wanted to put as much detail and time into this as possible because Ash never challenged the Sinnoh Battle Frontier. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy. Alright, we're picking back up with Ash and his friends. Today, they are deciding how they want to spend their next 2 months. Ash really wants to get in some serious training. The battle with Paul and Flint has shown him that he's seriously behind them. But Ash isn't the only one who's having issues. Dawn still has to get her last ribbon, or she can't enter the Grand Festival. The timeline is tighter for her as well. Ash still has 3 months until he has to start the Sinnoh League Finals, but she has only 30 days to secure her final ribbon, or she will miss the one thing she's aimed for in her whole 10-year-old life. No mistakes, Dawn declares to everyone. With the Pokemon Center full of people looking at her, it caused some embarrassment. Dawn, you okay, Ash asks. Yeah, I'm just getting myself focused. I have one last chance to get a ribbon, and the next contest is mine. Don't get overconfident, Dawn, Brock says. That could cost you the contest. Don't worry, Brock. I know what I'm doing. The next ribbon is in the bag. Well, okay. Ash, how about you? What are you going to do with your training? Well, I've been thinking about it, and if Wagner is as strong as Flint, then I'm going to need some serious training in order to get onto his level. So, I was thinking about heading to Snow Point City. Oh, to train with Brandon? Yes, Ash says. He's the strongest trainer I know. Then Ash hears a familiar voice from behind him. Why stop there? Why not challenge all of the Sinnoh Frontier brains? The group turns, and Ash sees a very familiar person. Scott, how have you been? I've been great, Ash. Hey, Brock, and you must be the skilled coordinator I've heard so much about. Dawn, isn't it? Scott says. How do you know me? Dawn asks in puzzlement. Dawn, this is Scott, the president of the Battle Frontier. What are you doing here? Ash questions. I'm here for the same reason I was in Kanto, Ash. To make the Sinnoh Battle Frontier official. As with Brandon, there are now 7 Frontier brains here in the region. And to answer your question, I make it my business to know talented trainers and coordinators. And you are on that list. Really? Well, I guess I'm not surprised. I am pretty great. That overconfidence that Brock was worried about is poking through again. Scott, what do you mean challenge the other Frontier brains? I've already won the Battle Frontier. True, Scott says, but I overheard you were wanting to do some serious training. And if you recall, the Battle Frontier trainers are on the same level as the Elite Four. And besides, the only trainer that you've actually faced is Brandon. And he's not the same trainer that you beat last time. Actually, I already battled Palmer, Ash says. Really? Did you win? No, I lost. He was really strong. Well, this would be a chance for a rematch. Plus, the other brains are just as strong as him, and I guarantee you, they will present a challenge you've never had before. Ash turns to his friends. What do you think? I think we should do it, Dawn says. If these Frontier brains are as strong as Scott claims, then it'll only benefit us. Brock, how about you? I'm on board, Ash. I'm always on board. Ash turns to Scott. Okay, we're in. Where's the first battle facility? Ash questions. Hey, Dawn, can I see your Poketech? Sure, as she hands it over hesitantly. Scott then hooks it up to his and uploads some information, then hands it back. There, I've programmed the first facility. When you clear that one, then you will receive the location for the second one. Dawn checks the map, and her eyes light up. The first facility is just outside Oreburgh City, which is the site of her next contest. Scott then gives Ash a new Frontier Pass to hold his new battle symbols. Ash, I know you have the location of the battle pyramid this time, but I would save Brandon for last. I can say, if you challenge him now, you'll lose. And this time, there's no do-overs. You have to win each battle on your first try, or you cannot continue the Battle Frontier Challenge. Really? Wow, the stakes are much higher this time. Guess I have no room for error then. Ash, what do you mean this time? Dawn questions. Well, last time, it took me 3 tries to beat Brandon, but I was finally able to beat him. Really? No wonder Paul had such a hard time with him. Ash thanks Scott for another invite to the Battle Frontier. Are you going to be at each battle? Like last time, Ash questions? You know it. I want to see if my new Frontier brains have what it takes to dethrone a Frontier champion. Well, I guess I'll see you there then. And with that, they part ways. Ash can't hold his excitement. He's really wanting to get on the road, as is Dawn, as she's itching for her final ribbon. Brock cautions the two. Ash, you just had a serious battle with Flint. Let's rest for the day, and then they can head out first thing in the morning. Ash and Dawn agree, so they settle in. That night, Ash looks up at the sky with Pikachu. You know, buddy, I feel something. I don't know what it is, but it feels right, as the two doze off into a deep slumber. The following day, the trio sets out. They will hit Oreburgh City first, as Dawn's contest is only a few days away. They will need to be quick. They're about a day's trek in when Brock realizes that if they don't pick up the pace, Dawn will miss the contest. This starts to freak her out a little bit, as this is her last chance for a ribbon. She can't miss it. As she panics, while Ash and Brock attempt to calm her down, they hear a voice ahead of them on the road. "Hey, are you guys okay? You seem in distress. Do you need assistance?" The group looks up, and there sits an older lady in a Jeep. She looks familiar, Brock thinks to himself. Dawn doesn't care who she is. This lady has a car, and it is her ticket to get into the contest on time. She rushes the old lady, showing her panic in the process, begging for a ride, explaining her dire situation. Ash and Brock chase after Dawn, apologizing for their friend. The lady tells them that it's really no problem. She introduces herself as Bertha. "Bertha, wait, you wouldn't happen to be Bertha of the Elite Four, would you?" Brock questions. "The one and the same." Ash looks on, thinking, as Brock and Dawn talk with her. Then they call Ash, who seems to be lost in thought, snapping him back. "Ash, isn't this great? Bertha will give us a ride so I don't miss my contest." The group starts to get in the car with Bertha, but Ash stops them. "Wait, Bertha, my name is Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. I challenge you to a battle." Bertha smirks at the boy, admiring his tenacity, but Dawn thinks Ash is being selfish. Her contest is close to starting, and he knows it. She tries to say something, but Brock stops her. "Look, if we're getting a ride, then we'll make it. But you see that? The look in Ash's eyes? I've only ever seen that a handful of times. There's nothing we can say or do to change his mind right now." The determination from this young boy has Bertha intrigued. "Okay, Ash, we can have a battle. How does a 2-on-2 sound?" Ash tells her that's fine with him. He's more than ready. Bertha exits the Jeep and readies a ball as she declares, "I hope you're a challenge. I don't normally take random battles like this one, but the look in your eyes has sparked my interest," as she sends in her first Pokemon, Quagsire. Quagsire? Well then, this won't be an easy challenge. "You're a ground type specialist, aren't you?" Ash questions. "Yep, and you better believe I know how to use them." Ash readies his first Pokemon, sending him Weasel. A pure water type. "Okay, let's see what you can do, Ash." She gives him the first move, which Ash happily takes, ordering a water gun. Bertha counters with a dig, dodging the attack, forcing Weasel on the defensive. Ash tells Weasel to be calm and listen for Quagsire. It does so, eventually feeling the vibrations under it as Quagsire surfaces in an attempt to finish its attack. But Weasel fires back using an ice punch as it comes up, freezing it to the ground in the hole that it was in. This surprises Bertha. My, in all my years, I've never. That's an impressive way to use Ice Punch. But I'm afraid it will be in vain, as Quagsire uses Sandstorm to break its prison. Because it was so close, Weasel gets caught in the storm, having sand thrusted into its eyes, blurring its vision. In a panic, Weasel fires a water gun in an attempt to hit something, with Ash telling it to calm down. It does somewhat, but not before being hit with another dig from Quagsire. And because it was wide open, the move landed a critical, severely injuring Weasel. Ash knows he has to do something here, or he won't be able to finish the battle. With Quagsire on the ground and Weasel's vision practically gone, they need to make a haymaker. Then it hits him. Weasel, use Sonic Boom on the ground. The move hits, and Weasel can hear the distortion in the vibrations as they travel through the ground. Ash orders an Aqua Jet to hit as hard as possible. Quagsire surfaces, disoriented from the Sonic Boom, catching the Aqua Jet at full power. The battle has reached its head. Ash ordered another Aqua Jet in an attempt to close it out, but it is met with a Protect from Quagsire, giving it the open it needed to counter with a headbutt, ending Weasel right then and there. Ash recalls Weasel. "Darn," he musters under his breath. "Ash, you were close," Bertha says. "But it wasn't good enough," he replies. "Yeah, but a little tweaking, and you could win next time." "Well, I still have one more Pokemon," Ash yells, as he sends in Snover. The sandstorm is raging as Snover 2 is taking damage. Bertha orders another dig in an attempt to keep its distance. Snover is a grass type, and that's bad news for Quagsire, being a water ground type. But Ash tells Snover to wait, don't do anything. This puzzles Bertha. If Ash doesn't move, then the sandstorm will run its course and stop before Snover faints from the chip damage it's taking. So she orders her Mon to surface, but this is what Ash wanted, ordering a Grass Knot to capture Quagsire. Then he makes his move, ordering an Icy Wind that connects just as the sandstorm subsides, winning Ash the battle. Recalling her Mon, Bertha is taken back by that. This boy knows his Pokemon well. He's actually teetering on Elite 4 levels of power. So young, she thinks to herself. Ash then asks, "Have you given up, or are we going to continue this battle?" With Snover surprisingly enjoying itself, wanting another challenge. "Okay, Ash, you want my next Pokemon? That's fine. Just remember, you asked for it." And she sends in her final choice, Hippowdon. The giant hippo roars, causing another sandstorm at the force of its mighty breath. Great, Ash thinks. This is my strongest Pokemon, Ash. Hippowdon. It won't go down as easily as Quagsire did. That was easy, Ash thinks. Well, let's get this started. Ash calls for an Icy Wind, but the sandstorm is so strong, the attack peters out before landing. Is that it? Well, my turn, Bertha says, ordering a Stone Edge that is way too fast to dodge, colliding with Snover before Ash can even make a command. The little tree is down, unsure of what just happened. It never felt an attack like that before. before. Come to think of it, it's never seen a Pokemon as strong as this before. That thought kind of scares Snover, but its fear is quickly subdued when Ash calls to it, asking if it can still battle. Something comes over the icy little tree. It stands up with the look on its face Ash hasn't seen before. The look of a Pokemon ready to battle. Ash smiles. I was hoping for this. He's been trying to get Snover to take battling more seriously, but has been having trouble. He orders a rock climb, causing Bertha to question this. How does he expect to lift my massive Pokemon, she wonders. Out of pure curiosity, she waits to give an order, wondering how this will turn out. Snover rushes in, pushing up against the giant hippo with all of its might that its little arms could muster, but nothing. It's not gaining any ground, getting more and more frustrated with each failed attempt. Come on, Snover, you can do it. The little Mon looks back at its trainer. No, its friend. The one thing it always wanted. Snover doesn't want to disappoint Ash, thinking its failure would end their friendship. Out of pure adrenaline, Snover begins to make ground on Hippowdon, to everyone's surprise. With all the force it can muster, it begins to glow brightly with evolution energy. Before they know it, Hippowdon is being stared at by a newly evolved Abomasnow. Ash, pulling out his Pokedex, learned that it gained a new move too, Woodhammer. Ash calls for it, triggering Bertha to finally make a move, ordering a crunch. Hippowdon clamps down on the arm that Abomasnow was going to use with the Woodhammer, canceling the attack. Then it follows with another Stone Edge. Ash calls for a dodge, but due to the crunch, Abomasnow can't move, and it takes the attack at point blank range, ending the battle. Ash walks over to its newest evolved Pokemon. Abomasnow looks like the world ended. It failed its one friend, but Ash just helps it up. Good work, Abomasnow. We'll get him next time. A sense of relief comes over the Mon as it gets to its feet. Bertha approaches Ash. You fought well, Ash. I want to battle you and your Pokemon again, but next time, I want it to be an official league battle. That's where we'll meet. Ash shakes Bertha's hand. You can count on it. Thanks for the battle. It really helped my Abomasnow level up for the battle frontier. Oh, so you know Scott, do you? Bertha questions. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, after Dawn's contest, we're going to the first battle facility north of Oreburgh City for my first battle symbol. Ash, this will be a strange request, but do you mind if I watch both your battle and Dawn's contest? Sure, we don't mind, Ash says. Dawn seconds this. Well then, let's get going so we can get you to your contest, Dawn, as they all hop in the Jeep, heading for Dawn's final showdown. Dawn ends up making it in time for her contest. Now, I won't spend too much time here, as this is already a massive part. Dawn does pretty well in the first part of the contest, easily making her way to the battle rounds, using Piplup and Cyndaquil. It seems she's got the contest in a lock. There's no real challenge here, except for one person. A person we haven't talked about for a few parts now, Nando. He's here for his 5th ribbon, and he is easily winning each round, just like Dawn. The two make it all the way to the finals, where Dawn has developed quite the big head and is already declaring she won. That is, until the battle starts. She's quickly on the back foot, playing more defense than anything. Dawn has changed from playing to win to playing to not to lose. Nando proves that he's a worthy rival, chipping away at Dawn's contest points little by little, until only 30 seconds are left on the clock and Dawn realizes the gap in points is too great. She's lost this one. She stops giving commands to Togekiss, confusing it. Nando stops as well, letting the clock run out, taking the victory. Dawn just rushes out of the contest hall with her dreams of entering the Grand Festival shattered. Her friends give chase, while Bertha looks on. Ash and Brock eventually catch up to a crying Dawn, being consoled by Piplup. She can't take it. All she's worked for, it's for nothing. She let all of her Pokemon down. Ash and Brock try to talk to her, but she doesn't want to hear it. Nothing they say can cheer her up. She tells them that she's going to go home to Twin Leaf Town. There's nothing more for her to do. But Bertha tells Dawn to hold on. Just because one door closed doesn't mean it's over. Dawn asks what she means. That was the last contest before the Grand Festival. There's no way for her to enter now. True, but that doesn't mean your adventure is over. Yeah, I've lost plenty of times, Ash says, but I still keep going. There are other Grand Festivals, Brock says, in other regions. You can always enter those. This does calm down Dawn a little, but it doesn't help now. She agrees to continue traveling with Ash and the group for now. So with this heartbreaking loss out of the way, the group sets off to Ash's first battle facility. The next morning, they head north of Oreburgh to the Sinnoh Battle Factory, where Scott meets up with them once again. He notices that Dawn is down, and he asks why. She explains what happened at her last contest. Now she can't enter the Grand Festival. That's really sad. All that hard work down the drain. I'll tell you what, Dawn, if Ash can win this battle, then I'll let you in on a little secret that very few people know about. This catches Dawn's attention. What does Scott know that she doesn't? Well, they all head inside where they are introduced to the factory head, Thornton. Ash immediately challenges him to a battle, but this frontier brain is nothing like his counterpart Nolan of the Kanto Battle Frontier. He's a very very intelligent individual, designing and building high-tech gadgets that people of Sinnoh use. Ash doesn't really understand this guy. He's here for a battle, but all Thornton can talk about is a randomizer. This guy is definitely socially awkward. Then Scott approaches Thornton, telling him that Ash is his first challenger of the Battle Frontier, and a champion of the Kanto Battle Frontier as well. The words of Scott cause the demeanor of the young Frontier brain to change to a more serious tone. Well then, you want a battle? Okay, it'll be a 3-on-3. Ash has no problem with this, as he pulls out his first Pokeball. Where do we do this? Hold on, Thornton replies. We do battle a little differently here in the Sinnoh Battle Frontier. What? Ash replies. Here, it's just better to show you, as they are led to the main battlefield of the factory. Thornton tells Ash to take his position and he will explain. As Ash enters his side of the field, a computer and what looks like a Pokemon transfer system appears before him. What is this? He questions. That is my battle randomizer, the factory head says. Here, in the battle factory, you don't choose your Pokemon. My randomizer does. It will do the same for me, and we battle. Everything else about a normal battle is still the same, but I designed the system to keep the trainers on their feet, testing their adaptability. Really? So how does it work? Ash says. It's simple. The computer before you has a database that you can plug your Pokédex into. All the Pokemon that are currently registered to you as a trainer in your Pokédex will be uploaded. Then, the randomizer will choose one of those for you to use. If you don't have that Pokemon with you, then you simply call for it and have it transferred over. Any questions? Is that it? Ash says with a sense of confidence. I was worried for a second. This throws Thornton off. He wasn't expecting this kind of reaction, but this is Ash. He doesn't care how he battles as long as he gets to do so. So, with that, Ash pushes the button and starts the console, triggering the randomizer. Thornton, taken aback by Ash's willingness to accept the terms of his battle, no questions asked, hits his button too. So, let's see what their choices are. The two trainers smile. Ash then makes a call to Professor Oak for his first choice, Tauros. He sends in the Raging Bull, ready for its return to glory. Thornton smiles as he sends in his first Pokemon, Ursaring. As the Man-Bear Pig hits the field, Tauros flares its nostrils, grunting heavily. Ash smiles. That's right. Show your power. That was some luck on your part, Ash. Landing a Pokemon with the Intimidate ability. Normally, losing attack would be a bad thing for Ursaring. Normally. We'll see about that, Ash says, as he orders a Zen Headbutt. However, Thornton is unfazed, ordering a Bulk Up to counter the effects of the Bull's ability. Ursaring does take the Zen Headbutt, then, on retaliation, hits Tauros with the Hammer Arm right in the head. This leaves the Bull dazed. Wow, Ash. Had that been any other Pokemon, then it would have been over. But it seems your Tauros has a pretty hard head. Yeah, we have that in common. You know another thing we have in common? We don't give up. As Ash calls to the Bull, and it shakes off its haziness. Ash orders a high-cost move, Giga Impact. Thornton calls for another Bulk Up. Ursaring takes the move, but the damage is minimal, leaving Tauros wide open for another Hammer Arm that it's unable to dodge. But when Ash said that they were stubborn and won't give up, they weren't kidding. Tauros uses what movement it has to angle its head just enough to allow the Hammer Arm to barely graze it, firing another Giga Impact at Ash's command that is unguarded. Ursaring takes the full force of the move and is leveled in the process, giving Ash the first victory of the match. Not bad, Ash. I didn't foresee your Tauros being that sly in battle. No matter. Let's move on to the next battle. Thornton spins the wheel on the randomizer once more, getting one of his favorite choices, putting a smile on his face. Bronzong, I choose you. Bronzong. Ash looks at Tauros. Even though it won the last battle, it wasn't without cost. The Bull is severely winded. One attack from the Iron Bell will end it. Ash decides to recall it for later. Smart, Thornton says. You knew it couldn't win, so preserve it for later use. Well, let's see what you get in next, Ash. Yes, let's. As Ash spins for his second choice. After for what seems an eternity, the wheel finally stops, landing on the edge of two corners. One with a huge advantage, and the other one that wouldn't be much help to Ash against the Steel type. The computer finally makes its choice. Your next Pokemon will be Torkoal. Yes! Ash exclaims. He makes the call to Professor Oak, trading out his Monferno for Torkoal for now. He sends in the Fire Turtle. As it emerges, it lets out a stream of smoke from its nostrils, signifying it's ready for battle. Wow, Ash, for these two Pokemon not being with you, they sure are ready for battle. Normally Pokemon that spend time away from their trainers, they get lazy, but yours are in tip-top shape. Yeah, we're always ready for a battle, as Ash calls for a Flamethrower. Bronzong counters with a Gyro Ball, pushing through the Flamethrower, hitting Torkoal. Luckily, Torkoal is as slow as Bronzong, so the damage is minimal. To counter any more physical damage, Ash calls for an Iron Defense. Thornton takes this opening to use a Calm Mind, increasing its special stats. I see your strategy, Thornton, calling for a Flamethrower in hopes of connecting before the completion of the Calm Mind. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and the damage is cut in half. Thornton, realizing that he is now in a pretty good position, wants to put Ash on the defensive, ordering a Rock Slide. Ash then calls for another Iron Defense, lowering the damage, but it's starting to stack up, and Thornton isn't letting up with the Rock Slides. Ash finally makes a choice to go on the offensive. Torkoal finally emerges from its shell as Ash calls for its most powerful move, Heat Wave. Thornton has a plan for this though, ordering a Psychic to take control of the attack, sending it right back at Torkoal in full force. It's surrounded by its own flames, as it cries trying to avoid any damage, but it's unsuccessful, and once the flames subside, there's a clear winner in Bronzong. Ash recalls his old friend. Well, that didn't go as well as I thought it would, but thanks for the effort, Torkoal. Now Ash has a choice. Does he use his last spin, or does he send back in Tauros? After some thought, he decides that it hasn't had enough time for Tauros to recover, electing to use his final spin. Ash pushes the button on the randomizer for one final time. As the wheel spins, Ash is hoping for a heavy hitter. He sees the wheel spin by names: Corphish, Pikachu, Kingler, Muck. It's mind-numbing the choices flashing on the screen. Finally, the randomizer slows, revealing Ash's final Pokemon. Then a name flashes on the screen. The heavy hitter Ash was hoping for: Sceptile. He makes the call, changing Abomasnow for the Tree Gecko, and sends it in. Sceptile emerges from the ball in its usual calm, badass manner. Well, your last Pokemon had the advantage. Now, you have a disadvantage. I'm curious on how you'll handle this one. Thornton wastes no time, ordering a Gyro Ball, aiming for big damage. Ash counters with a Quick Attack to dodge, ordering a Bullet Seed that does little with Bronzong's increased stats. This isn't good, Ash thinks. Torkoal did damage, but not enough for Sceptile to end it in one move. If we play defensive, then we'll end up losing the Endurance game. I guess I only have one choice. Bronzong is coming in with another Gyro Ball. Ash tells Sceptile to wait. It does, letting Bronzong get closer and closer, until to the surprise of everyone, it connects. What? Why? Thornton thinks to himself, but then he hears it. Sceptile. Solar Beam. The Guardian of the Forest opens its jaws, enveloping the two with solar energy. Once everyone can see again, Sceptile looks a bit beaten up, but is still standing. Bronzong, however, is KO'd on the ground, giving Ash his second win. Thornton recalls Bronzong. Very gutsy, Ash, but it paid off. Yeah, but I knew my Sceptile could withstand that move. Well, I guess we're in the final stretch, as Thornton pushes the button on the randomizer. The wheel begins to spin and quickly makes a decision. Thornton smiles. It's been a while since I've used you, as he sends in his Tyranitar. As Rockzilla emerges, a powerful sandstorm is whipped up. Ash recalls Sceptile to give it some time to rest. It's his best chance to win this battle, so he wants to save it for later. He then sends back in Tauros. The Raging Bull is less winded than it was the last time we saw it, but you can still tell it's close to the limit. Tauros uses its intimidation tactics to scare Tyranitar, but the sandstorm blanks the attempt as it can't see Tauros. Ash knows he only has one real move left for Tauros, so he orders the best move that he can in Mega Horn. Tyranitar, unfazed, grabs the literal bull by the horns, and at the command of Thornton, uses Body Slam, ending Tauros in one fell swoop. Well, that was an interesting encounter, Ash thinks. This Tyranitar won't go down easily. It's clear the power of this Mon is above the rest that he's battled today. Ash recalls Tauros, thanking it for the effort that it put in. He sends back in Sceptile, who is still battle-worn. It also gets hit by the sandstorm, having its health slowly chipped away. Ash and Sceptile have to be careful. They have the type advantage, but not the defense. Ash orders a Bullet Seed, trying to keep a distance, but Thornton counters with a Storm Edge, overpowering the Bullet Seed. Ash orders Sceptile to dodge, and it narrowly gets out of range, but catches one of the levitating stones in its left arm. Great. More damage, Ash thinks. We can't battle up close, we can't battle from far away. That only leaves one option: speed. Ash orders Quick Attack, and backs it with the Leaf Blade. This gives Sceptile the evasiveness needed to finally land an attack and get away. The speed of the attack also allowed Sceptile to land a critical hit, causing even more damage, but Tyranitar is still unfazed. It shows no signs of pain. This is starting to worry Ash. The sandstorm is taking more and more Sceptile's health with each move, and Tyranitar is just enduring every hit as they come. Then, it finally happens. Sceptile reaches the point that Ash is all too familiar with, as its overgrowth starts to activate. If they have a chance to win, this is it. Sceptile needs to drop Tyranitar now, because on the next move, it may not survive the sandstorm. Ash orders Sceptile to charge both Leaf Blades and rush in. Thornton knows that the next encounter will end it. He orders another Stone Edge, trying to force Sceptile back, but it uses the leaf blades to cut through the stones. Then a problem emerges. Sceptile's left arm lacks the power from the prior injury, and it's struggling to cut down the stones. Ash sees this and orders another quick attack, just giving it enough power to connect with Tyranitar. The pseudo-legendary looks at the Sceptile that dared to fight, and the sandstorm subsides as it falls in defeat, with Ash barely winning his first battle symbol. He and Sceptile celebrate the victory, though it will need some quick attention at the nearest Pokemon Center. Thornton comes over to the duo, congratulating Ash and his Sceptile on a battle well fought. He then presents them with the wisdom symbol. Ash celebrates with his Pokemon, as Scott and Bertha congratulate him. Ash, that was a great battle. Now that you've won, the location of the next battle facility has been updated in Dawn's Poketech. It beeps, flashing the location on the screen. Then Dawn remembers. Oh, Mr. Scott, you said you had a secret to tell me that no one else knows. What is it? Oh right, Ash's battle was so intense, I forgot about that. But a deal's a deal. You see, one of my Frontier Brains is a former winner of the Grand Festival, and we made a deal with the festival committee. She can grant a ribbon to anyone who can beat her in a contest-style battle. This ribbon is valid for the Sinnoh Grand Festival only. So you mean there's still a chance for me to enter? Dawn excitedly exclaims. Yes, but I won't tell you who it is. You will have to wait for Ash to win his way through the battle frontier to get their location. So that means that if Ash loses a battle before we get there, then yep, you will lose your chance. Oh, and by the way, it's a one and done deal. If you lose, then you can't re-challenge them. So this is literally my last chance then, Dawn says. Well, I'm all in. Ash, you hear that? My future in the Grand Festival is tied to you, so you better not lose. Don't worry, Dawn. I don't plan to. With that, our group heads back to the Oreburgh City Pokemon Center. Ash begins exchanging out his Pokemon, but when it comes to Sceptile, he decides to keep it. He wants to see if it and Monferno can train to master its blaze. Sceptile has a deep understanding of its elemental ability and how not to be overcome by it. Then, Bertha bids the group farewell, wishing Ash and Dawn the best on their next quest. She tells Ash she expects to see him in the league finals. You know what he says, and with that, she takes her leave. Now, the group needs to set out ASAP. The deadline for the Grand Festival is in less than a month, and they don't know where Dawn will get her next ribbon. The next battle facility on the list is called the Battle Arcade. It's to the east of Jubilife City. From where they are, it'll take less than 4 days to get there by walking. So the next morning, they set out. Ash spends their downtime on the plan he had to have Monferno train with Sceptile. The two spend an excessive amount of time beating the literal hell out of each other to activate the abilities of one another. Monferno is very receptive to his training. As a matter of fact, both it and Sceptile have begun to develop a master-pupil type of relationship. Ash is also watching them spar carefully and eventually comes to the realization and the difference between the two. Sceptile has always had a calm mind. Aside from the one instance when it had a broken heart, it has always been focused, never allowing the surge of power to overtake it. But Monferno, on the other hand, it has a scarred psyche. The trauma it's endured has been extensive. If it and Ash wish to master the Blaze ability, then Ash must help it get over its own fears and mental blocks. Only then will he be able to utilize its full power. They spend their days working with Monferno, helping it realize that it's never going to be hurt again. And with its acceptance to this fact and the support of Ash and Sceptile, it begins to gain control over the Blaze. Not the whole way, but baby steps. This training does not slow them down. They reach the Battle Arcade within the 4 days estimated time, with Ash itching for a second Frontier symbol. Ash enters the battle facility. Wow, he says. What, Dawn asks. They don't have a facility like this in Kanto. This is a whole new experience. Scott then greets our heroes, welcoming them to the Battle Arcade. Ash asks if the brain is in the facility. Scott tells Ash that there's a bit of a problem. Dahlia is a bit of a free spirit. She comes and goes as she pleases, but she's been gone for a while now, so hopefully she'll be back soon. This gets to Dawn. They're on a strict time schedule, and this girl is holding them back, being very vocal about her disapproval of this lazy brain that Scott has appointed. Scott tries to say something when music could be heard from deep within the facility. Ah, Dahlia must have returned, Scott says. Please, follow me. I will show you the way. Scott leads them to a room with a very exotic looking woman in the middle, dancing away like nothing else matters. Scott approaches her, attempting to talk, but she just continues to dance to the rhythm around her. This irritates Dawn even more, causing her to scream at the top of her lungs, but Dahlia is still unfazed, finishing her dance as the music fades out. Dahlia, oh hey Scott, how goes it? Well, I'm here with your next challenger. But Ash finishes his introduction, cutting Scott off with his name and title of the Kanto Frontier Champion. Oh, another champion. This should be a good battle, Dahlia says in a very laid-back attitude. dude. Dawn, now steaming from her ears, yells, "Hey, take this seriously. You have 2 challengers." Dahlia questions, "I thought I only had 1 frontier battle." "Yeah, you do." Dawn, "Sorry to tell you, but Dahlia isn't the brain you're looking for." "What? Really?" Dawn hangs her head. "You really should learn to chill out," Dahlia says. "It would do you a world of good to learn to slow down. Give yourself a chance to enjoy life." Dahlia then turns to Ash. "Are you ready for our battle?" Ash is more motivated now than ever, as this girl is the exact opposite of Thornton. He's ready to get started. Then he pauses. "Wait, what are your stipulations?" he asks. "Ah, so you caught on. Thornton must have really did a number on you and your Pokemon. Well, that's good, because he designed the system that we'll be using. Before you is our battlefield. It has the ability to generate artificial weather conditions, and they can help or be a hindrance to the trainer and their Pokemon." "That's not so bad," Ash says. "How will we decide?" he asks. "With these," as Dahlia holds up a pair of dice. The first dice decides the weather. It's simple. 1 is sandstorm, 2 is rain, 3 is intense sun, 4 is hail, 5 is brain's choice, and 6 is a reroll. The second dice decides the Pokemon we use. We move from left to right in order that you capture the Pokemon. I will roll the dice for the weather conditions, while you, the challenger, will roll the dice for the Pokemon we use in battle. Any questions, Ash? No, it's pretty straightforward. So, you accept the terms of my battle facility then? I do, Ash replies. Well then, let's get started. The 2 take their positions, readying their respective die. On 3, Ash, as they both scream 3, letting the dice fly. The first to stop spinning on the floor is Dahlia's. Her number is 4. The weather condition for this battle will be hail. Ash's dice is quick to follow suit, with it coming to rest next to Dahlia's, with the number 1. The 2 Pokemon have been chosen. For Ash, this is simple. It's Pikachu. But Dahlia, she just smiles. Medicham, go! The fighting type takes the field as psychic energy swirls around them. Dahlia gives Ash the first move, which he takes without a second thought, calling for a quick attack. Dahlia counters with the Reflect, minimizing the damage. Jeez, again? These brains are far different from the ones in Kanto. They really know their Pokemon. I need to end this before this gets out of hand. But Medicham is quick, and Dahlia wastes no time ordering a Brick Break. Ash tries to fend off the attack with an Iron Tail, but Pikachu is easily pushed back, forcing it into the barrier of the stadium, catching hail in the process. "Pikachu," Ash calls, hoping it's okay. Once the dust clears, the electric mouse emerges, but you can tell it's really feeling that last attack. But the mouse is ready for more. Ash then orders a Thunderbolt, hoping to get some damage in, but Dahlia calls for a Detect that cancels the attack. Darn, she's very well defended, Ash thinks. The barrier for physical moves, Detect for special attacks. How do we get through? Then it hits him. It's risky, but if it works, Medicham will do the work for it. Ash orders Pikachu to use Quick Attack around the battlefield, avoiding the hail as much as possible in the process, but not to charge in at Medicham. Dahlia, curious to what's going on, lets Ash do what he wants, until it sets in that he won't attack. But as Dahlia prepares to call for another attack, Ash changes his tactic, calling for an Iron Tail. Dahlia counters with another Brick Break, but the angle of the Iron Tail is too deep in Medicham's personal space, so the Brick Break is executed at an awkward angle. So awkward that Medicham's own attack shatters the Reflect as it connects with the Iron Tail. This time, Pikachu is on the aggressive end, forcing Medicham back, injuring its hand with the force of the attack. But it also had an added effect, as Dahlia orders a Force Palm, but Medicham, it can't move. Ash smiles. Seems Medicham is stuck. Eh, Dahlia? It seems so, Ash. So, the Quick Attack was just to charge Pikachu's static. That's right, Ash says, as the Immobile starts to take damage from hail. Dahlia tells Medicham to put the Reflect back up, but Ash tells Pikachu to charge a Volt Tackle, and attempt to land it before Medicham can finish the move. The two collide in an explosion of power. Ash nervously watches on, hoping his gamble paid off. As the dust settles, Medicham and Pikachu both appear to be down. As the ref calls it, Pikachu slowly makes its way to its feet, giving Ash the first win. The hail subsides as Dahlia recalls her Pokemon. Impressive, Ash, using my own attack to break Reflect. Yeah, it was a long shot, but it paid off in the end. Yeah, but look at your Pikachu. It's barely able to stand. Ash knows she's right, so he recalls it for now. The two trainers ready the next set of dice, throwing them again on 3. This time, Ash's lands first with the number 4, while Dahlia's lands on 2. Oh, this match will be good, Dahlia declares, as the rain begins to fall over the battlefield. Ash thinks this will give him a massive advantage, as the Pokemon he rolled is Buizel, sending it in, hoping to take advantage of its Swift Swim ability. Dahlia smiles a sinister smile as she sends in her next Pokemon, Zapdos. As the Thunder Titan of the skies emerges from its ball, electricity immerses the stadium. Zapdos' cries ring through the ears of Buizel and Ash as they both gulp, realizing how real the battle just became. Dahlia tells Ash he can have the first move, which he wastes no time in trying to get in any free damage that he can, calling for a Water Gun. Zapdos watches on, almost mocking Buizel. Then Dahlia calls for her counter, Ancient Power. The boulders levitate around Zapdos, blocking the Water Gun. Ash and Buizel Weasel can only look on stunned. Deciding to take advantage of the rain, Dahlia calls for a thunder. Zapdos floods the field with a charged rage. Ash orders Weasel to dodge the best it can, but the electricity is coming at it from all sides. There's no more dodging. Dahlia smiles. This was over a lot quicker than I thought it would be. But Ash just smiles back. Why are you calling it before it's even over? Weasel, use water gun on the ground. The water Weasel aims and fires as hard as it can, shooting straight up past Zapdos in the air. But the thunder is following the path of the water gun. Ash orders Weasel to break its attack. Once it stops, Weasel begins falling at a rapid pace. Ash then orders Weasel to follow up with an Aqua Jet. Water then begins to surge around it as it charges in with speed greater than Zapdos can handle, landing the attack with all the force of the fall behind it. This is enough for Zapdos to lose some altitude as it struggles to recover. Ooh, I bet that left a mark, Ash smirks. That was very clever, Ash, but the question is, how long can Weasel continue to dodge before it tires out? Dahlia then orders another Ancient Power, keeping Weasel at a distance. The only moves it can counter with is Water Gun and Sonic Boom. Luckily, a Sonic Boom does manage to break through, hitting the amped up bird. This only enrages it more though, firing another thunder, aiming to end it this time. Ash orders Weasel to use Aqua Jet to dodge, hoping the increase in speed will be enough to make up for the fatigue Weasel is starting to show. The rain is flooding the battlefield, leaving Weasel with little room to run. It's now surrounded on all sides, again looking like it has no way out. The water at Weasel's feet is waist deep. It's done for. Then Ash tries something crazy. He orders a Sonic Boom on the water, then for Weasel to hit it with an Ice Punch. This actually works, creating a shield blocking the thunder. Wow, Ash, you have more lives than a Meowth, Dahlia comments. Don't worry, this isn't over. Unfortunately, Ash, it is, as an Ancient Power comes crashing through the ice, finally connecting with Weasel. Ash calls to it, and it struggles to stand. Weasel is on its last leg. It spent so much time dodging that it tired itself out in the process. Ash decides to go on the offensive. He orders Weasel to rush in with an Aqua Jet once more. Dahlia commands for one final thunder from her bird of prey, but Ash isn't playing with caution any longer. As a matter of fact, it speeds right past Zapdos toward the wall. Ash then calls for a Water Gun aimed at the wall, allowing it to thrust back the way it came, but angled towards Zapdos. Before Dahlia can even respond, Weasel is able to land an Ice Punch with the critical hit, but the thunder finally catches Weasel, one-shotting in the process. Zapdos, however, is still able to battle, but is feeling that last attack. Ash recalls Weasel, thanking it for the work it put in. Well, Ash, you have a choice now. Roll the dice for a final choice, or send back in Pikachu. Ash thinks for a second. He knows Pikachu would be his best bet, but he needs somebody who won't have a compromised speed or defense. So Ash decides with his final roll. He rolls a 5, which considering the rain isn't the best choice, sending in Monferno. Wow, that's an unfortunate turn of events, Ash. A fire fighting type against a flying electric with rain up. Your back is to the wall. Ash tells her, don't worry, he's got everything under control, as Ash calls for a Mach Punch. Zapdos is unable to dodge, taking the attack, but it used the close range to land a Drill Peck, sending Monferno sliding back. It felt that way, but Zapdos is a little worse for the wear. It's now having trouble flying. Ash takes advantage of this by using a Flame Wheel that lands on Zapdos, but it's still not enough. Dahlia then calls for another thunder, but Ash counters again using Dig to dodge. Then it resurfaces with another Mach Punch to close out the battle, dropping Zapdos in the process. Dahlia then recalls the legendary bird as the rain subsides. Well, Ash, this has been interesting, but I'm afraid the moment you rolled that last dice, you lost this match. Now, let me roll mine so we can start this final leg. Dahlia throws the dice that seems to take an eternity to finish spinning. Once the result is revealed, a smile appears on the face of the brain. That's a 5. That means it's Brain's choice. Well, I guess I'll choose to keep the weather going under rain. Now, for my final Pokemon, Ludicolo, I choose you. As the Pokemon emerges from the ball, Dahlia begins to dance as she had when Ash first met her. Ludicolo follows suit. It's like the two understand each other and can read each other's feelings through the rhythm they feel. Ash decides he needs to conserve Monferno for later, telling Pikachu to re-enter the battle. This is where we need to make a massive push, but Pikachu won't last long. Ash calls for a Thunderbolt, using the rain as an amplifier for the attack. Ludicolo just continues to dance, gracefully avoiding the Electric Mouth's assault until the attack peters out. Dahlia then counters with her own attack, a Thunder Punch, aimed at the ground, using Ash's strategy against it. This has the opposite effect, as Pikachu is windowed, unable to avoid for long, taking the attack, yelling in pain. Once Pikachu breaks the attack, Ash can clearly see that Pikachu shouldn't go on. He begins to walk out to gather his starter, but is stopped when Pikachu sparks at him. It wants to finish this battle, if not to win, then to at least give the team a fighting chance. match. Ash has never been one to argue with Pikachu's resolve, so he keeps it in play. Ash knows he needs a power play that can cause a lot of damage, and he knows that their next bout will be Pikachu's last. He orders a quick attack. The little mouse charges what strength it has left, rushing toward Ludicolo. Dahlia then orders Razor Leaf in an attempt to throw Pikachu off. Ash then orders a final move, Volt Tackle. As Pikachu charges its final move, Dahlia realizes it's too late to counter, and Pikachu is inches from Ludicolo. The two collide in a brilliant light, blinding everyone. Once Ash can see the results, it's clear that Pikachu won't be able to continue as it's down, but Ludicolo felt that one, as now static is in play, plus the damage it took from the Volt Tackle. But Dahlia smiles. While the paralysis is a problem, the damage isn't, as Ludicolo starts to glow with the healing aura. That would be its ability, Rain Dish. Wait, what's that? Ash questions. As long as the rain's in play, Ludicolo will regain health after each move. Ash grits his teeth. Now the odds are really against it. His back is to the wall, with Monferno left, and it's at a severe type of disadvantage. Ash only has one real play left. He needs to use Blaze. It's the only thing that could cause the damage needed to outpace the Rain Dish. He then collects Pikachu and sends back in Monferno. It's already taken heavy damage from the Drill Peck, so Ash needs to be careful. He calls for a Mach Punch that Ludicolo counters with a Thunder Punch. The two attacks cancel each other out. Ash then orders a Flame Wheel that is severely underpowered, but does cause some damage. Then the Rain Dish activates again. Ash thinks this isn't working. Monferno isn't getting enough damage in. Ash then makes a decision that could cost him the match. Ash tells Monferno to use Dig and getting close. Dahlia tells Ludicolo to dance around, preventing a hit from the Dig. Monferno finally surfaces, missing its target, and is met with the worst thing that it could possibly be met with, a Hydro Pump. The high pressure attack sends Monferno into the stadium barrier with a loud thud. Ash looks to it, instantly second guessing his choice. Well, you had a good run, Ash. The battle definitely was interesting, but it looks like your Sinnoh Frontier challenge is over. But Ash turns and smiles. I don't think so, as Monferno surges with flames, jumping back into battle. Ash and Monferno's training with Sceptile has been paying off. Ash has discovered that Monferno's Blaze has stages. The training they've done has gotten Monferno able to handle up to stage 2. The problem is that the lower the health gets, the higher the stages go. And from that attack, Monferno was sent right into stage 2. Any more damage, and it won't be able to control Blaze. Ash attempts to make this quick, ordering another Flame Wheel. Dahlia realizes that this Monferno is different from the rest of its species. Blaze not only increases the attack of its fire moves, but its abilities in general, as now it's moving at a pace greater than before. Ludicolo can't handle that speed and takes the attack unguarded. The paralysis has caught it. What happens next is a barrage of Mach Punches, as Ludicolo struggles to guard itself. But Ash and Monferno get overconfident, dropping their guard. This allows Ludicolo to land a Thunder Punch that sends Monferno sliding back as the rain increases the potency of the attack. This is what Ash was trying to avoid. The damage forces Monferno into stage 3 of Blaze, causing it to lose control. The chimp surges with flames that are literally evaporating the surrounding raindrops. They are no longer hitting Ludicolo, negating its own ability. Ash calls to Monferno, and it turns to him. Ash can see the look on its face. It's struggling to control this form. Monferno stops itself from lunging at Ash by jumping back at Ludicolo, catching everyone off guard. Monferno attacks without relent. Dahlia calls for a counter, but Ludicolo is totally paralyzed. With one last attack, Monferno fires the strongest flamethrower it can, engulfing the dancing stereotype, ending the battle. The ref calls it in Ash's favor as Monferno collapses from the strain of Blaze. Dahlia approaches Ash as he tends to Monferno. Before she can say anything, Ash immediately tells her he's sorry. We've been working on controlling Blaze, but it seems we failed once again. On the contrary, Dahlia says, you two have made progress. Monferno may have appeared out of control, but it was able to direct its attack. What? How? Ash says. Well, there was a split moment when it forced its rage in a direction of its opponent. Though the way it won may look questionable, it actually wasn't. Ludicolo couldn't move, and your Monferno was able to capitalize. Ash, I proudly award you with the chance symbol as proof of your victory at the Battle Arcade. Are you sure? Ash asks. Yes, it's clear that you were the winner here, and I concede to you in defeat. Ash celebrates with his Pokemon, as Scott and the rest of his friends join him. Well, Ash, you're proving that no matter what, where, or when, you can best my strongest trainers. Then Dawn's Poketech lights up with the location of the next challenge. The third place is called the Battle Hall. Dawn begs Scott to let her know the location of her ribbon battle, but Scott again declines. Dawn, be patient. If you continue to rush things, you could lose the only chance you have to enter the Grand Festival. Don't worry, your time will come. Ugh. Dawn cries, but she complies as Scott takes his leave for other endeavors. This is so frustrating, she thinks to herself. Ash can see the look on Dawn's face. Hey, listen, if you continue to get worked up over this, then you'll end up overconfident in your next battle. You really should just focus on the strategy you'll use. I know, but ever since I lost that last contest, I feel like I haven't been able to get any traction. Ash, you continue to grow with your Battle Frontier challenge, but I'm just in the same spot I was at the start. Well, if you feel that way, then how about we help you train, Dawn? Brock says. Yeah, we can help you get stronger, Ash follows. Thanks, guys, but I need more than training. I needed a new routine, something that I can use to throw off my opponent. It seems like my old tricks have me in a rut. Well, about that, after watching Dahlia and Ludicolo, I have a bit of an idea on how we could help, Ash says. Intrigued because Ash had a really good idea with the counter shield technique, Dawn listens. Ash says they can't do it here. He needs to call Professor Oak. Then he can explain his idea. So they part ways from the battle arcade and head to Jubilife City. Once at the Pokemon Center, Ash calls Professor Oak, asking to exchange his Pokemon. The Pokemon he sends is Buizel for now, and the Pokemon he gets in return, Ash declares, Totodile. I choose you. Out pops the energetic little water type as it does its little dance, happy to see its trainer. So this is your idea, a Totodile with no rhythm? Totodile doesn't take kindly to this and hits Dawn with the water gun, triggering Piplup. Actually, my idea is to get in sync with your Pokemon through dancing. Both Brock and Dawn look at Ash with puzzlement. He explains that his battle with Dahlia showed him how a Pokemon could affect the battle with the rhythm of their movements, not just the movements itself. And I figured my Totodile is the best dancer I know, so it could help us with it. Well, what do I have to lose, Dawn says. It's going to be about a week until the next battle facility, so we can spend our time on the road working with all of our Pokemon. So that's what they do. The gang parts from Jubilife City. On the road, it becomes apparent that Piplup is having trouble keeping up with the other Pokemon. It's really behind, causing some really hilarious scenes of it failing fantastically. The rest of the Pokemon all seem to find a rhythm with Totodile as their guide to unlock their inner music. But one of Dawn's Pokemon stands out more than the others. Her Cyndaquil. It's a natural. It seems to vibe really well with Totodile. So much so that the two begin a really good friendship, showing each other's moves and helping each other find new ones. This continues until the group finally arrives at their next facility, known as the Battle Hall. Of course, they're greeted by Scott, who always seems to be ahead of them. He tells Ash, Dawn, and Brock that the brain known as Argenta isn't one to be taken lightly. In terms of ability and skill, she is probably the second strongest of the Frontier brains, only behind Brandon. This excites Ash. He's looking to get this battle going now, with Scott is more than happy to bring them to the main corridor of the Battle Hall. There stands an elder woman with 3 Pokemon, a Dragonite, a Butterfree, and a Drifblim. Ash rushes to Argenta, introducing himself. She simply smiles. Scott, are these the 2 you told me about? Yes, they are. Ash is a Frontier champion of Kanto, while Dawn looks to enter the Grand Festival. Really? Well, we do have a conundrum on our hands, don't we? Wait, what do you mean? I'm here to battle you for a Frontier symbol. Wait, you're not... Scott, is this the person you told me about? The one I can earn my last Frontier ribbon from? Yes, the one and the same, Argenta. So, we both have to battle her, Ash questions. That seems to be the case, Argenta replies, but I have a more interesting idea in mind. Really, Dawn asks? What is that? Well, how about we make this a double battle, Argenta says. If you both can beat me in a double battle in a contest setting, then you will have your prizes you seek. Double battle? Contest setting? Both Ash and Dawn question how they would be able to do this battle. Well, you both can only use 1 Pokemon each, while I will use 2. The first team to lose a member, lose all of their points, or have the lowest points at the end of a 5-minute battle will be the team that loses. What do you think? Ash and Dawn look at each other. They both have the same smile on their face. We'll take it, they say, and we have the perfect team to battle with. Really? Well then, let's get started. I'm interested in seeing how you two will fare against my team. Argenta leads with their Dragonite and Butterfree, recalling Drifblim in the process. Ash and Dawn ready their Pokeballs, sending in them at the same time, Totodile and Cyndaquil. The truth is, Dawn and Ash are at a disadvantage. While Totodile does have a unique battle style, it's never competed in a contest, so Ash will have to play it close to the chest, while Dawn is still harboring a secret. She's still not over the loss that Ash handed to her at the contest he won, so there is some tension between the two of them, albeit only on Dawn's side. Argenta gives the uneasy duo the first move. Ash and Dawn haven't practiced any combos, but Totodile and Cyndaquil have an unnatural rhythm with each other. Dawn calls for a Flame Wheel from Cyndaquil. Ash tells Totodile to wait for it, as Cyndaquil rushes in. Argenta is quick to counter with the Whirlwind from Butterfree. As the wind is kicked up, Cyndaquil starts to get pushed back. Ash then calls for a Water Gun, attempting to push Cyndaquil through the Maelstrom, but it's no use, as Dragonite pushes a Dragon Pulse into the Cyclone, adding a swirl of blue hue to Butterfree's attack, strengthening it, sending Cyndaquil flying back to its side of the field. This does cost Ash and Dawn about a quarter of their battle points. However, thanks Thanks to Ash thinking to use Water Gun, Argenta lost some point as well. Good effort, but you two need to get over the tension between the two of you if you want to beat me. Tension? Ash questions, but then he looks at Dawn. The look on her face says it all. Ash, since you beat me in the contest, I haven't felt right. Battling is your thing. Contests were mine. Sure, I wanted you to get stronger, but I never thought you would beat me. And since you did, I feel like I've lost my purpose. Like I won't be able to keep up with anyone. Always a second place. Dawn, I'm Ash. Don't apologize. They hear from Argenta. She needs to understand there is always trainers and coordinators that are improving. That's not your fault. She is disillusioned if she thought you wouldn't get any better at coordination battles. This catches Dawn's full attention. Dawn, you should be thankful you have a friend that is growing next to you. It's always harder to grow on your own, but you have walled yourself off from growing. But me and Ash train all the time, Dawn says. Yes, your Pokemon are growing, but because you lost one battle, you are hindering your own growth. Stop holding yourself back and let Ash be your partner in this battle, or you will lose. Thinking about what Argenta said, Dawn realizes she's right. She's been holding herself back out of fear that she would experience the same crushing disappointment that she felt when Ash beat her, but no more. Dawn smiles and turns to Ash. I'm sorry, she says. I've been holding back, and it's been hurting us as a team and as friends. Don't worry about it. I know it's hard when a friend beats you. Trust me, I've been there. But as long as you learn from it, you will always come out stronger. No, we will, Dawn says. They both turn to Argenta. You want our best, then you got it, they say together. Ash tells Dawn to lead. She has the better coordinator sense, which she happily does, calling for a Swift. This seeks out both opponents without fail. Butterfree is hit rather easily, but Dragonite is able to dodge, until Totodile is able to land a crunch. This isn't so much for the damage, as it's minimal, but to divide the attention of Dragonite so the Swift can hit. This causes Argenta in the points, bringing her below the duo. Now, that's the teamwork I was hoping for, but it's still not good enough, as Argenta orders a Shadow Ball from Butterfree, then has Dragonite hit it with a Dragon Claw, splitting the moves into several smaller balls, making them harder to dodge, or so Argenta thought, as Cyndaquil and Totodile use the training that they've been through to just dance around the smaller attacks, costing Argenta more points. Well, that was unexpected, but very pleasant to watch. Argenta realized she needs to turn up the heat. Her poking and prodding has gotten them to a new level, so she must start trying. She then orders a move that they haven't seen, a Dragon Rush. Dawn orders a Flame Wheel to intercept, while Ash orders an Aqua Tail. However, Butterfree is waiting to use Confusion, catching the two in the air. This allows a free hit from Dragonite, catching a Sparkle from the Confusion as Dragon Rush connects. This causes serious damage, not only to their points, but to both Totodile and Cyndaquil. Argenta then looks to end this with another Dragon Pulse Whirlwind combo. Both Cyndaquil and Totodile are stunned by the last attack and are having trouble moving out of the way. Ash and Dawn call to both of their Pokemon. Cyndaquil is still unresponsive, but Totodile is able to finally move as the attack collides, enveloping the two in light, causing more points to drop. Dawn and Ash are in awe as it looks like they have lost. If either of their Pokemon are knocked out, then the battle is over. But as the dust settles, something remarkable has happened. What was once a small, less than opposing Totodile has now taken its much more sturdier second form, Croconaw. Its evolution completely negated the damage that the two would have taken, and once Ash uses his Pokedex, he learns that his Mon has learned a new move, Ice Fang. It's here that Ash has a brilliant idea. Hey Dawn, have Cyndaquil use a Swift Attack again, focusing it into one giant star like Ambipom does. Dawn, trusting her partner, orders it, and the star begins to grow in size. Argenta knows that this one hits, one of her Pokemon may be knocked out. She orders Butterfree to use a Whirlwind to counter, and for Dragonite to fire another Dragon Pulse, holding nothing back. Butterfree fires its attack, just as the Swift reaches full size. Then Ash calls for his move, Croconaw. Use Ice Fang on the Swift. The water crocodile jumps in the air, using its newfound bite strength to chomp down on the star, infusing it with the Ice Fang energy. Dragonite fires the Dragon Pulse at the same time, but it's too late. The Whirlwind is being used to Dawn and Ash's advantage, as hundreds of small ice stars ride the air currents to find their targets. The ice-infused Swift connects without prejudice on Butterfree and Dragonite, knocking out the dragon in the process. It is at this point the match is called. Dawn and Ash did it. They won. The two celebrate with their Pokemon, as Ash tells Croconaw he didn't think it would ever evolve, but it seems it was finally ready for the next step. But it still hasn't lost its stride, as it starts to dance as if it were still a Totodile. Ash and Dawn laugh as Argenta approaches them, congratulating them on their win. She then presents Dawn with the ribbon she sought for so long, the battle ribbon, and she gives Ash his third symbol, the idol symbol. Argenta then tells them that she was glad to battle them. She thought she had this one, but didn't foresee Ash's Totodile evolve. She would like to battle with them again. Scott then chimes in, telling the too, it was a terrific battle. See, Don, I told you patience would pay off. You are now ready for the Grand Festival, and I hope you win it. Thanks, Scott. I'm aiming for the top. Then, the Poketech rings with an update for the next battle facility. Don looks at it, and it's out of the way of the Grand Festival location. Don't worry, Ash says. We can go to the Grand Festival first. I wouldn't want to miss that for anything. Don just smiles as the two prepare for the next part of their journey. And that's all we have for part 5 of What If Ash Won the Sinnoh League, the Battle Frontier Part 1. What did you guys think of this part? Do you really enjoy how I'm putting the twists and the spins on the Frontier battles, putting another level of challenge in each one? How do you feel about how Dawn got her 5th ribbon at the Battle Hall? And what are you guys most excited to see in the next part? Let me know in the comments down below.
If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to interact more with me, don't forget to join the Discord and follow me on Twitter. And if you want to support me any further, head over to my Patreon. Just $5 a month gets you 1 week early access to all of my videos. These awesome people have already donated, so I can continue to bring you the content that you love. The links for all of these are in the description below. Anyway, I'm Ronin Charizard, and I'll see you in the next video.